Yo, what's up, guys? Back-to-back wins for the Toronto Maple Leafs, defeating the Calgary Flames tonight, 4-2, guys. Now, how we feeling about this win tonight against the Flames? Not the best game tonight by the Maple Leafs, guys, but, you find a way to get a win tonight against the Flames. Back-to-back wins after beating Vancouver the other night. You beat Calgary tonight. Games that the Leafs should be winning. The way more talented team. The Leafs had some luck on their side tonight in this hockey game, guys, but when you got guys like William Nylander on your team, these guys here individually can make a difference. And we saw William Nylander tonight make a massive difference. Obviously, being born in Calgary, of course, didn't live there that long, but obviously always returning to his hometown. William Nylander absolutely torches the Calgary Flames. He's on a 12-game point streak after tonight, scoring a goal, like 30 seconds into the game with a great play by John Tavares to bat the puck out of the air, then give Willie the puck on a breakaway there to beat Dustin Wolf 30 seconds in. It's a great goal by Willie, and you just knew Willie was going to have one of those nights tonight. So he extends his point streak to 12 straight against the Flames. This guy here tonight had another 2 points on top of the goal tonight, guys. So William Nylander has 28 points against the Calgary Flames. 9 goals and 19 assists against this hockey team, and like his last 8 or 9 games are in total against the Flames in general. It's a crazy stat to see how much he torches this hockey team, and William Nylander was by far the best player on the ice tonight. He was the only guy that really was making things electric on the ice, because that first period was pretty dull. Of course, Leafs only had like 3 shots on net in that first period. It was like 7-3 on shots for Calgary, guys. It was not a great first period. Pretty much a snooze fest, if you ask me. Not many high-grade chances. Joel Wall had to make some good saves, I feel, to keep it at 1-0 for the Leafs. He was great the entire night tonight. Joseph Wall, if you guys ask me, made some incredible high-grade 8 saves tonight. Just really gave the Leafs an extra vote of confidence back there tonight after Joel Wall hasn't had a great stretch of games as of late. But then in the second period, William Nylander with John Tavares and Michelli, who I thought were the best line tonight due to the fact that Willie was the best player on the ice. Willie, again, John Tavares does a great job holding the puck in the corner there. Willie's able to get there in front and battle with Weegar. He's able to win the stick battle, and he's able to backhand it in front to Matias Michelli, who's wide open there, and he's able to pot the second goal of the game for the Leafs there. But it's just William Nylander's effort there to win the stick battle, able to get it in front there. Willie's got such a great active stick, and just showing what a great player he is and how badly the Maple Leafs missed him the last 7 games. Just really unfortunate to not have Willie during that Homestead, the Seattle game. It's really unfortunate to see, man. William Nylander, what a dynamic player he is, how much he affects a hockey game. Already having 2 points in the game was like, my God, man. He was doing that against Vegas as well, having 2 points in 2 minutes, but unfortunately, we had lost him there. Played great tonight, guys. Gets the assist to Michelli, of course, and the Leafs, I felt, had a really solid stretch of minutes where they were like about 7 to 8 minutes where the Leafs were dominating Calgary in that second period. They were all over them. They were moving the puck well. Then we saw the third goal where OEL gets the puck in deep, makes a great play to Matthews. Then he makes a pass to Nylander. Nylander makes the pass to Matthews. Nylander has the chance on net there. Then Nylander gets the puck back, and he finds Troy Stecher with a great pass by Willie. And Stecher obviously beats Dustin Wolf there with the deke. Beats him bottom there, guys. It was a great passing play by the Maple Leafs. One of the nicer plays I think we've seen the Leafs do this year, guys. And then Stecher pots it, getting a goal there for Troy Stecher, who I thought had a pretty solid game tonight as well, making it 3-0 for the Maple Leafs. I said to myself, it's great to see the Maple Leafs playing some decent hockey. Obviously it wasn't the best hockey, the most high-event game, but the Leafs were doing their job, playing some decent hockey, getting chances on net, testing Wolf. The second period I thought was way better than the first period. Calgary, after the Leafs took a 3-0 lead, they started pushing a bit. Calgary had some great chances. Then we saw former Maple Leaf Nazem Kadri get a goal beating OEL from the back door. It was a really nice goal by Kadri. OEL, not a very good job there defensively. If you guys ask me, I felt OEL didn't have the greatest of nights tonight. Kadri beats Joe Wall top shelf. It's a great goal by Nazem Kadri to cut the deficit to 2. But then after, a couple minutes later, the Leafs, unfortunately, as we've seen a lot of times this season, they have these mental lapses in their own end. The Leafs did have trouble at times in this hockey game, getting the puck out of their own end, getting hemmed in a shit ton of times. in this hockey game. Then we saw, of course, the Leafs get hemmed in again because John Tavares can't clear out the puck. Then we saw OEL not looking behind him, and Farabee's able to squeak him backdoor again and make it 3-2. It cut the deficit back down to 1. And I said to myself, oh, God, do not blow a 3-0 lead. But it would be typical Maple Leafs if they did, because this has been the story of this hockey team all year, guys, is as we've seen, the Maple Leafs just don't know how to defend leads. They can't hold on to a lead. Even though they were leading the entire game, us Leaf fans obviously had that little bit of a scare saying to ourselves, they're not going to blow this lead, are they? And if they did, it wouldn't that matter. It's not going to really affect anything in the standings, but it just would make this team look even worse that you bring a 3-0 lead to the Calgary Flames. But luckily enough, as I say that, the Leafs had some luck on their side in that third bloody period. William Nylander, he hit a post. He was active again in that third period, giving the Leafs the best opportunity to add an insurance goal. Of course, he was threatening, making some great passes. Again, like I said, hit the post. That was probably the Leafs' best chance in the third period, because Calgary was really hemming the Leafs in their own end. Joel Wall had to sprawl a few times, made one incredible save on Serengovic, where the puck bounces in front there. Wall has to sprawl with his arm there to make the save. That was one opportunity there. Then we saw the puck bounce off the wall. Joel Wall tries to come out and play it. He has to run back, escape back to his net there. He's able to get his stick in front of the puck there. And I think it was Klapka, I think his name is there. He tries to shoot it, and it bounces over the net there. I'm thinking to myself, how the hell did that not go in? And then we had the other opportunity where it bounced off the crossbar and had that funny bounce that went forward instead of backwards into the net. That was the third opportunity there. And the Leafs really had a horseshoe up their ass in that third period to not give up the time bloody goal. And then as we saw, Bobby McMann, who didn't have a very good night tonight, scores the empty net winner, giving the Leafs the insurance goal to give the Leafs the 4-2 win tonight, guys. Not a great performance, but they did what they had to do. Got the job done tonight. Had some luck on their side. Had a great goaltending night by Joel Wall as well. William Nylander was the star of the show tonight, guys, getting 3 points tonight. Just an immense performance by William Nylander tonight. Michelli had a nice goal by him. He had a decent game. Tavares had that great assist. Wasn't very effective tonight, other than a couple shifts where he had that play there for the second goal where he kept the puck in the corner there. So John had some good moments. Not the best, of course. Matthew Knies still dealing with injury, of course. He doesn't look himself. Turned the puck over in his own end at one point in that third period. Almost gave the Flames a freebie there. So that was lucky there. Knies needs to get on this Olympic break. He's the guy ailing the most out of anybody right now. So hopefully he can get some rest. Lawton had a great chance as well on that shorthanded breakaway there after Backlund hit Wall, that jackass there. McMahon got a penalty as well there. So it was a bit of a stupid thing there by Backlund to do. Lawton almost made them pay for it on that 4-on-4 breakaway there. But unfortunately, he couldn't score there. But I still like what Scott Lawton brings to the table with this hockey team. I would be really disappointed if the Leafs did trade Scott Lawton, but I understand that he's a viable asset, could maybe fetch a first or second round pick. So who knows what happens with his future with the Maple Leafs, guys. But still, you had Stetcher, who had a solid game tonight. For OEL, had a bit of a rough game. Jake McCabe, he had an okay game. Brandon Carlo didn't have a bad game tonight. I wonder why Brandon Carlo didn't have a bad night tonight, guys, because a certain player wasn't playing tonight for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, I'm going to be completely blunt and honest with you guys. When 44 isn't playing, I'm going to talk about it. And tonight, he didn't play. Now, ironically enough, the Leafs won this hockey game tonight, right? I'll tell you guys blunt and honestly right now. You guys can comment if you don't agree, or if you do agree. I would love to hear either or. But if Morgan Riley's playing in this hockey game tonight, the Maple Leafs lose this hockey game. 100%. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That if Morgan Riley is on the ice tonight, they lose this hockey game. No doubt in my mind. The Leafs record with Morgan Riley out of the lineup since 2020-21, guys, is 24-5-1. Did you guys hear me? In 30 bloody games without our $7.5 million defenseman, we are 24-5-1. If that doesn't show you and doesn't indicate to that Leaf management upstairs that guy's got to go, I don't know what will. I just don't know what will. You had that great third period the other night against Vancouver. Riley's not in the lineup, okay? You don't play great tonight, but you find a way to hold the lead, and you find a way to get another 2 points without that guy in the lineup tonight. And you would continue to increase your record without him in the lineup tonight. If you guys ask me, this should be the last year that Morgan Riley plays for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, I understand it's only one game. He's only missed 2 games this year, but I don't give a crap. You could see that the Leafs, without that guy in the lineup, things are a little bit more calmer with the Leafs D. They know that there ain't going to be a freebie coming in from 44 in the hockey game when he ain't playing. And I'll tell you guys right now, his bloody teammates know that he's a liability and a detriment to this hockey team. They all know it, but they love the guy. Mo's a great guy, right? Good old Mo, right? But unfortunately, we got to win hockey games. I love the Toronto Maple Leafs. I don't love Morgan Riley. That's the difference. So at the end of the day, guys, I want what's best for my hockey team. And what's best for my hockey team is not having Morgan Riley on it. So I'm going to leave it at that regarding 44 because he didn't play tonight. But it's just ironic that the Leafs win the night against Vancouver without him in the third, coming back down from a 2-1 deficit, and then tonight as well, holding a lead the entire bloody game without him. If they go into Edmonton and win this game on tomorrow night against the Oilers, we'll just fuel the fire even more. That's why I do not want Morgan Riley playing for this hockey team after this season. So that's what I got to say about 44. I thought Benoit and Myers did okay tonight. They weren't horrible. They didn't stand out. And it's ironic enough as well, guys, that no defenseman was a -1 tonight. It's ironic. It was either a 0 or a plus. It's too ironic to me. It's too much of a coincidence that these things happen when 44 ain't in the lineup, guys. So if you guys ask me, should be the last year that Morgan Riley should be on the Maple Leafs. So I'm going to leave it at that. But other than that, though, guys, Matthews had an assist tonight. Didn't have the greatest of games. Him, Domi, and McMahon, pretty quiet tonight, other than McMahon getting the empty net goal. Michele Tavares and Nylander, best line of the night, of course, due to William Nylander. The third line with Waugh and Robertson and Nice, pretty quiet tonight. Fourth line was quiet tonight, other than Scott Laughton, of course. The deep pairings, they did have some trouble tonight getting kind of in their own end, but they didn't shoot themselves in the foot, having a massive turnover that did cost them. They did have some turnovers, but it didn't bite them in the ass like we have seen in the past, guys. Leafs find a way to get 2 points tonight. Joe Woll, 5-0 against the Flames, guys. He's got their number. Solid performance by him tonight, guys. We want to see Joe Woll playing well. We all know that Joe Woll is capable of being a #1 goaltender in this league. He showed it tonight, Leafs have one more game left before the Olympic break. You got to play the Edmonton Oilers tomorrow night on our second night of a back-to-back. Go over there and let Connor McDavid bloody have it. Even though he might let us have it, go let him show. Go show him. You could have came home this summer, but even though we probably ain't going to make the playoffs, Connor McDavid staying in Edmonton for 2 more years at $12.5 million is an absolute bloody joke, if you ask me, guys. To give that hockey team 2 more years at that kind of money when he should have gotten more of a pay raise, it's an absolute joke. I can't stand the Oilers. I really hope to God they don't get to a third cup final. I really hope the Leafs can beat them tomorrow night, end this road trip on a 3-game winning streak. And then we'll see what this hockey team has up their sleeve after the Olympic break, because you got some massive opponents coming up in your own division, of course. I'm not saying that the Leafs are going to go on a massive run and find a way back in a playoff spot. But anything can happen, guys. Anything is possible. I don't think the Leafs will be able to do it because they just have too many flaws and deficiencies in their hockey team right now. But we'll see what happens, guys. One more game before the break. We'll love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this game time between the Leafs and Flames. So click like if you like this video. Subscribe if you guys want to see more content. Go Leafs, go as always, guys. We'll see you guys on the next episode of Leafs Unfiltered. Ciao, guys.